Do you remember what you said to me when I told you I wanted to start a YouTube channel?
I don't remember what I said exactly, but I remember being upset about it.
Why were you upset?
I was like, you want to do what? I didn't understand it. I didn't know what it was.
No, in your defense, nobody understood it back then, and nobody knew what it was.
No, and like, were we engaged?
I think so.
And I'm like, oh my God, this guy, like, why can't he do something normal for a living, like be an accountant?
Exactly.
A YouTube channel?
Exactly. Well, the good news is that it worked out all right.
It did.
Knuckle bump. All right, gentlemen, that was one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. It was doing something that was a little bit different, something I was interested in, that was against the grain. You know, a lot of times we don't do things that we want to do in life because we're so worried about what other people think or what other people want us to do for ourselves. Today, guys, I want to go over some of the best decisions I've ever made that have made me millions. Honey, you have a shopping problem, I think.
I shop for free on Amazon.
It's free?
If you could shop for free.
So here's the truth. I call my wife the Amazon queen because literally this is what it looks like every single day at our house. We're getting like tons of shipments. Now, the caveat to this is that it's technically free. I link my Amex points to my Amazon account. So literally, you know, I'm spending on my Pete and Pedro Amex every month about $300,000 to $400,000, and so we get a ton of points. And so my wife literally gets to like shop for free, and so she loves it, and it's a good thing because we actually tallied it and counted it, and it was about $20,000 a year she spends at Amazon. Anyway, today, guys, I want to go over some of the best decisions I've ever made in my life that really, in my opinion, have led to me being, you know, successful. You know, some of these things have to do with money, but most of them don't. Before we get to that, I actually have a question for you. So I need your opinion on something, all right? Down in my basement, one of the things that I think is pretty cool is that it's gonna be like very like industrial, right? We've got the concrete floors, we're gonna be polishing them. We've got this big iron and glass door for my fitness center, but then we put in these spiral ducts, right, for the AC. What do you think? Do you think I should keep it the color that it is, which is kind of like silver? The problem though is like you have like fingerprints and you've got like, you know, joint compound and stuff, or should I paint it black to basically like make it just like go away and kind of match some of the other black iron that is down here in the basement, right? Look at this door. That door, is that door not the sexiest thing? All right, outside we're gonna have like a nice little seating area. We're starting to actually plant some of the big like bushes that we need in order to block like our neighbors and like block us in. After I get done talking about the things I want to talk about, if you guys are interested, I'm gonna take you outside and show you the limestone pool deck that we're laying, like as in today. Oh my God, it's so sexy. And then some of the bushes that we're actually planting. All right, but anyway, back to my question. These pipes, right? The spiral ductwork, what do you think? Do you think we should paint it black or silver? Keep it silver. Down below, let me know. Thanks. Where should we film? What do you think? The beautiful thing about this house is that I've got so much light and windows, like everywhere is like amazing lighting for filming. Yeah, no. So the whole like inspiration for today's video is the other day I'm like just kind of like walking around this house, right? And I know that I talk a lot about this house, but this is a big deal for me, right? It's a big deal because in some ways I feel like it's symbolic, and it's symbolic to the poor little insecure kid that grew up, you know, really not having a good direction and not really feeling valuable or validated, right? And so the other day I was just kind of like looking at this place and I'm thinking to myself, this is fucking crazy. Like, it's crazy. This house is crazy. The fact that I'm able to do this is crazy. The fact that I'm able to pay cash for this is crazy. It's crazy because most people can't do this. But when I really started to think, well, why? What is it about me, right? What are the decisions that I have made that have allowed me to basically be successful or financially fairly free, right? Now, I can't actually, I probably could. Anyway, you know, and so I started to think about it, right? Because there is nothing that separates me from like 95% of other people out there other than a few of the decisions that I have made that other people aren't willing to make. All right, and these are the decisions that truly have changed the trajectory of my life and my profession and my career, that has allowed me to basically go from literally driving a beer cart a few years ago to doing this, which is crazy. It's crazy. Like, I always look around, right? When I drive down like nice areas, and it's still to this day, my wife and I will drive down this road. It's called West Paces Ferry in Buckhead in Atlanta, right? And you're driving down these roads and you're seeing these houses and you're like, holy shit, like, who are these people, right? Have you ever done that? Well, like, I know that there are people that are going to drive down the road and see this house and be like, who is that guy, right? Or what did he do? Why is he so different than me? And the truth is, I'm not. I was just willing to do a few things or make some decisions that most people won't. And so today I want to talk about some of those decisions because there aren't that many of them. And the reality is that most of them don't have anything to do with money, right? It's not like I'm some investment whiz. Not at all. I'm dumb. I am literally not smart when it comes to a lot of things. But the first decision that I made that I can look back to and say, you know what? Yep, that one right there was when I finally gave up my dream. And I know that sounds crazy, but up until the point at which I failed, and when I failed, and I'm going to include like failure in a magnificent way into that whole like giving up on a dream thing. My whole life up until the point at which my fitness center failed and I filed bankruptcy, my entire life from the age of 12, because 12 years old was the point at which I decided I wanted to own a gym, right? It was at 12 years old I decided, Aaron, you're going to own a gym because when you're at the gym, you're going to feel amazing. It's incredible. It was my only dream from the literally age of 12, right? But when I finally gave it up because it wasn't working, there was no out, there was no way to make it work. I was broke, I was bankrupt, I was driving a beer cart. When I finally was willing to say, fine, universe, you win, and walk away. And the hardest part about that, and I talked about it before, it wasn't that I was broke. Like, I have been broke since the age of 0. We grew up on welfare. I have been poor. I've been going hustle to hustle my entire life. So broke was nothing new to me. It didn't scare me. What scared me was the fact that I didn't know what next was. I didn't have a plan B. The type of entrepreneur person I am, I'm plan A all the time. I focus, and I focus all my attention, and I work super hard on one thing. And then when that one thing from the age of 12 was taken away from me, it was honestly liberating. And I know that that sounds crazy, but it was liberating for me because it's like, you know what? This isn't going to work. And I got to figure out another way. And it was this decision to walk away and to say, you know what? Next. It was one of the best decisions I've ever made. Failure, and I'm going to include failure in this, was one of the best things, if not the best thing to ever happen to this guy. Because when you are so worried, so fearful of worst case scenario or failure happening, it prevents you from truly being able to be free. Because when you take failure off the table or you get it out of the way, then all of a sudden you're able to be like, you know what? Fuck it. Like, why not? Why not try something I'm interested in? What's the worst thing that happens? Oh, I fail? Fuck it. Who cares? I've been there, got the t-shirt. It sucked. It was embarrassing, but I'm alive. I'm thriving. And I'm going to continue to thrive and figure it out until I figure it out in terms of the next thing or the thing I should be doing. Which brings me to the second best decision I ever made that has led me to where I am. And that is, I just decided to try something that scared me a little bit, even though everybody else said it was stupid. It was a bad idea. What the hell are you doing? And that was YouTube, right? I decided to just start posting videos. This was back in 2008. Guess what? It wasn't cool back then, right? It wasn't people making a lot of money back then. It was cat videos, right? And me. And I went on there and I was the first person to talk about style. Did I know a lot about style? No. Did I know more than most average regular dudes? Yeah. And so I just started posting videos and I just kept posting. I kept showing up. There wasn't a thought of someday I'm going to turn this into a business or someday I'm going to make money or someday. No. I just did what I thought was cool and what I thought was fun. I decided, fuck it. Like, let me do this and let me just see if I can do this because technology scares me. And that's the other thing. It scared me. I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know that I was ever going to be good at it or proficient enough to basically have longevity and keep doing it. Think about that. I've been doing this for almost 20 years. For like 16 years, I've been posting YouTube videos. Multiple videos every single day. It was another one of those pivotal decisions that I made that has changed the trajectory of my life. The third decision, simple, started a business. Pete and Pedro, period. Wait a second, I gotta back up because there were other businesses before then that didn't work, but then eventually I found one that did, which is kind of the next thing and lesson you just need to understand is that sometimes number one doesn't work, right? That's fine, that's okay. It's part of the process. Don't be in love with the end result, which is money. Be in love with the process of learning and pushing yourself creatively, professionally, intellectually. And that is something that I found that I loved. I loved the process of creating. I love the process of trying, coming up with an idea, testing it, seeing if I can make money. If, oh, no, it's not working or it's not working well enough, boom, I'm changing directions. I didn't fear failure anymore because I already did it. And now it's just about managing my risks and not getting into financial trouble. But back to my business. And that's the thing. I just want to encourage you. You know, when I think about and look at all my friends, right? All the people around me in my town, all the people that I know, the people that are killing it or doing things or having extra money, it's not the people working the 9-to-5 jobs. It's just not. It's people that are willing to take a chance and honestly, people that started businesses. Even if that business starts as a kernel, a nugget, an idea, and you grow it into something big and massive, like I did with Pete and Pedro, and we're just getting started. And I truly feel that, right? I feel like we are just getting started, just scratching the surface of our potential. I've learned a lot over the years. I fucked a lot of things up, but I also know what to avoid and what not to do. And that is what I teach in the White Label Empire. Gentlemen, I'm gonna link down below to the White Label Empire. We are about to close down enrollment basically for about 4 months. And so if you're interested in doing something amazing, taking that risk and chance on yourself, and finally getting out of your own way and doing something incredible, I want you to join us. It is the best thing I've ever done because, and the reason I say that is because I am helping people just like you, just like me, create businesses that is going to hopefully lead to your financial freedom, your success, and feeling of happiness, fulfillment, and taking care of people that you love around you. Guys, if you're interested in joining us, you don't need to worry about what idea you had. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. In the course, we show you and talk about how to find it. And then through our weekly calls, you're gonna get better ideas, engaging with the other members. You're gonna figure it out, I promise. And remember, it's not a race. It's also not super fast. It takes time, but the first step is now and today. Do not wait. Gentlemen, I promise you, you will not regret it. Hit the link down below and get started. Starting a business was one of the best things I ever did, right? And I guess I kind of made that decision when I was 12, that I didn't want to work for somebody, right? And the funny thing is that I would make a terrible employee. Nobody, if I wanted to go get a job, nobody would hire me for more than like $30,000 a year. They wouldn't, because I don't have the technical skill. I don't have the technical resume, but I know more than 99.99999% of people out there in corporate America about how to actually make money. And that, in my opinion, is the most important thing. Not like health and family and all that's most important, but you get what I'm saying. Anyway, starting a business and willing to start multiple businesses to finally figure out what business was gonna work was one of the best decisions. I'm gonna also parlay that into another business decision that I made, and that was hiring somebody smarter than me. Mike Levy, my guy, Mike Levy at Pete and Pedro. When I brought him on, boom, guess what? Everything scaled. It took all the control and the micromanaging away from me. I put it on somebody else. I said, here you go. This is your baby. Let me know what you need. But it is your job to help us grow, scale, and make this thing amazing. And guess what? He did it 100 times better than me. And so that's the reason why we've been able to scale and able to grow. Sometimes you got to toss the keys to somebody better than you, or better suited to the things that you're not good at, so that you can focus on the things that you enjoy and that you're passionate about. The next decision that's allowed me to be where I am is a financial decision, and that is to live below your means. The reason why I'm able to basically do the things that I do and buy real estate and build things and pay cash is because I live below my means, right? If you're overextended and you've got a bunch of credit card debt, like you can't do this sort of stuff. I also am not reliant or making other people rich, all right? And that was something that I just hated. I didn't love the idea of paying interest to people, but the only way I could do that is because I started a business that made me enough money. And in that business, I basically operated it with the focus on profit as opposed to top line, which is wickedly, wildly, incredibly important. You gotta operate it and make a profit. It is about profit. If you're not sticking money in your pocket, you can't do anything that you wanna do, right? And you could potentially get into trouble and go out of business. Anyway, the bottom line is I live below my means, right? Even though there are things that maybe I wanted, I could think long term. I also had the benefit of going through a bankruptcy and feeling like a humongous loser. And that was one of the things. When I decided to file bankruptcy, it really wasn't an option because of how much debt I had and how broke I was at the time. I decided that I would never get into a financial bad position again. If I can't afford something and to pay cash for something, I wouldn't do it. I would do without, or I would wait, or I would save, or whatever. And that has been my motto. And then whenever I have a little extra cash, I pay down my debt. When I get out of debt, boom, I don't know anybody's shit. The universe, the internet could collapse, and I'm like, fuck it. Peace, I'm good. Nobody's gonna knock on my door and be like, yo, hey, yeah, remember me? You didn't pay your bill, I'm gonna take your shit. Nobody's coming to get my shit, right? But that was one of the things, right? I live below my means. And the last thing, and I guess this is kind of like just a life strategy, is I'm willing to take risks when most people won't. Most people are not built for risk. They don't have the stomach for it. They don't have people around them that understand it. And they would rather stay safe and complacent than try and do something that's outside of their comfort zone or risky, right? Because nothing great was ever accomplished because it was easy or guaranteed, right? The bigger the risk, the bigger the reward. It doesn't mean you have to take wild swings or do things that are stupid or reckless. But you gotta be smart and you gotta be willing to push your chips in when it's time, right? When you've done the due diligence, when you've done the work, when you've done the planning, you've gotta push, but you also have to jump. And that's the other thing. If you spend your whole life planning and thinking and contemplating, right? You're never gonna do it. You've gotta be confident enough to jump at some point. You can read all the business books in the world. You can watch all the financial YouTube videos you ever wanted to watch. But it doesn't mean that it's going to prevent you from taking a risk or not potentially failing. You've got to be the one that takes the risk and jumps. And when you jump, you got to do the best job you can. You can fucking figure it out along the way. But I'm not scared. I'm not scared to do things that I want to do. And that's, I guess, the thing that I just want to leave you with. Fear is one of those things, the fear of failure, the fear of ridicule, the fear of people laughing at you, like whatever it is. That fear, if you allow it to rule you or you make your decisions based on it, you're never going to achieve your dreams. You're never going to make millions. You're never going to do shit. You're also probably never going to ask the girl out that you wanted to ask out and have the beautiful babies that you could have potentially had because you're scared. You got to stand up. You got to grab yourself by the balls and you've got to do it. And me, I'm willing to grab myself by the balls, well powdered and fresh balls, but I'm willing to do it and I'm willing to jump. Now, what I want to do is jump outside and show you the mantle that just got installed in the fireplace, which is beautiful, but also the pool deck, epic. All right, so I just need you to picture this whole scene that we got going on. All right, so if I take that out, all right, so the deal is I'm gonna open these up. These big doors slide all the way in, and I'm gonna give you the whole visual here in a second. But this is one of the reasons why I'm so excited about this room and this whole thing. All right. So all right. So this is my favorite part of the house. All right. So check it out. Right. We were just filming right here in the kitchen. Right over there, you're gonna have this big, beautiful marble backsplash, badass hood, and super sexy. Right. Anyway, this is our kitchen. Right. We're just chilling, hanging out, and then boom, you're going right here into the family room, all right? That's where those big doors were. We just slid them, they're pocket doors, boom, they go in there, all right? And this is my living room. We've got those beautiful wood oak panels that are gonna be stained actually this color. What do you think? You like this? You like that? I think that's gonna be pretty sexy, especially with the floor. This is actually the floor, and then you've got the limestone mantle right there. Amazing, right? Almost finished with these. All right, so here's the deal. Another big window outside of the pool. The house is shaped like a U, which is sexy, but boom, check it out. Those doors open, and this is what you see. All right, boom. It is 20 feet from here all the way up to the top of the porch. And then over here, limestone, right? We just had this installed. It is a cast limestone mantel that is just unbelievably beautiful. It's also super heavy. TV is gonna go up there, and then out here to the pool deck, right there. All limestone. Actually, let's go upstairs and look down. You can see it better. Another one of my favorite parts of the house is actually when you come up the stairs, right? We've got 3 bedrooms up here, plus like a little sitting area and office. But check this out. You come in here, right down the hall, and then boom, this room, it vaults up to basically 13 feet, which is really cool. And then outside, you've got a big window, and check it out. The pool deck, I think, looks amazing, right? Super good. Then, see that? See that room? That's my wife's office. All right. Now, the color is bridal blush or something like that. It's fucking pink. And I'm not the biggest pink fan, but I am a fan of my wife. And so when we were doing the house, the designer was like, oh, we could do like Tracy's office, all like, you know, pink. And then we have all this like neutral like furniture. It's like creams and beautiful art. And my wife was just like, yes, yes, awesome, amazing. And then I saw this color. I was like, I'm like, baby, come here, we got a problem. And she's like, what? She's like, I love it. I'm like, really? Okay, then we don't have a problem. They also built these really cool, like custom bookshelves. You could put plants there, or my cats could chill. Like I would have never thought about that, right? You know, it's just these little details that just is like next level that you don't get in a standard home that we're able to do here. And it's honestly been fun. With the pink, whatever, if we don't like it when we move in, we can always paint it. Gentlemen, speaking of painting, I want to know, in your opinion, that ductwork down below, should it stay silver or should we paint it black? You rock.